everyone. Welcome to another episode of Document Understanding series powered by AI Accelerator podcast. I'm your host Nisarga Satish. So far in the series, we've spoken a lot about document understanding. If you've missed any episode, I've put the YouTube link in the caption. Please watch it. And in our previous episode with Siva Tuma, we had in detailed discussion on document understanding framework in Studio. We also spoke about manual validation and AI units. If you missed, also watch that episode. Let's welcome our today's guest, Siva Tuma. He's a senior lead at Accelerate. Hi Siva, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Nisarga.
Okay. So to begin the podcast, Siva, let's start with something that many of our listeners have been asking about. Previously, we have created models on cloud, and when it comes to consuming these models or making these models accessible to others, there seems to be different approaches for both classic and modern document understanding.
Yes, that is correct. So if you have created the model in AI Center, that is a classic approach to make the model public. So we should enable the option called make ML skill public. So let me show you that option how we can enable. So for that, first we need to go to the AI Center and then we need to open the project. So and then we need to go to the ML skill. So basically we can enable this option at the time of creating the ML skill or after creating the ML skill. So here in the ML skill, I'm creating the new ML skill. So here we can find the option make ML skill public. And also after creating the ML skill, we can click on that and then we can click on modify current deployment. Then we can see the option make ML skill public. So when you enable this option, so we can get the ML skill endpoint URL. So with that, we can access this model outside the organization. So in the document understanding, basically we don't have this option. So instead, we will going to create an external application. So let me show you how we can create the external application. So for
Okay.
that,
And document understanding as in the modern experience.
yes, correct. So here first we need to go to the admin and then we need to click on external application. So here we need to click on add application. Here we need to give the application name and then we need to click on add scope. So here we need to mention for which application you wanted to create the external application. So here we have many options are available. So in this case, we are creating the external application for the document understanding. Then we need to select the relevant permissions. So user permissions and the application permissions. And then we need to click on save. In the redirect URL, we need to mention the tenant URL where you created the ML model. Then we need to click on add. Then it will generate the app ID and app secret. So with this, we can able to access the document understanding ML model outside the tenant or outside the organization.
That's quite fascinating how the approaches differ. The classic is, more straightforward, and with a simple checkbox, you can make it accessible for everybody. While the modern approach prioritizes security and control through proper application setup. So
Correct.
once you've made these models public, the next logical question is how do we actually connect to use them?
Yes, sure. So yeah, so if you have created the model in the AI center, so we will going to use the machine learning extractor. So here we will going to enter the endpoint URL and then we will enter the API key. Then we will click on get capabilities. Then the ML skill we can able to access. If you have created the model in the modern approach, that is the document understanding, then we can use the document understanding project extractor. So here we need to mention the app ID and app secret from the external application, and then we need to enter the tenant URL where we created the model, and then we need to click on the get projects. Then it will reflect the project and the version. Then we need to click on the get capabilities. Then we are good to use this model outside the tenant or outside the organization, right? So this way we can access the ML model outside the organization or outside the tenant.
Perfect. Now I have to ask about the elephant in the room, which everybody is talking about, and that is Gen AI. And I know our listeners are eager to understand how it fits into the document understanding picture, and this is where things actually get exciting.
Yeah. So definitely GenAI take things to another level. So in the document understanding, we have a GenAI classifier and a GenAI extractor, right? So let me show you these options. Let me show you how this GenAI classification and GenAI extraction will works in the UiPath Studio. So basically to work these options, first we need to enable the document understanding in the orchestrator level, and then we need to download the document understanding package in the studio level. Then we have a classification activity and the extraction activity. So in the classification activity, we will going to select the document that we are going to process, and then we will going to select the project and the classifier. In the document type details, we need to mention the document type. So simply here we will going to mention the simple prompt like is this document is purchase order or receipt. So with the simple prompts, we can easily identify the document type. In the same way for the extraction, so here in the input, we will going to select the document that we are processing and the project and the extractor. So in the document type details, so we will going to mention the fields that we wanted to extract, and then here we will going to mention the simple prompt to extract the fields information. So here I mentioned the prompt like what is the pivot number in the document, right? So when I run this process, so here it will identify the classification is a purchase order and the PO number extracted from the invoice. These activities, there is no need of using one after another. So we can use these two activities independently.
Okay, that sounds great. And the power of GenAI in handling unstructured document is truly remarkable. And what I love about this simplicity, sorry, and what I like the most is the simplicity here. Right, you're essentially getting the enterprise grade AI capabilities with just a drag and drop simplicity.
Correct.
Right. And now I want to shift gears a bit and talk about something that's crucial for enterprise adoption. That is API calls. Right. Many organizations want to integrate document understanding beyond just the UiPath ecosystems. So, how do API calls enhance the functionality compared to the traditional activity based approach?
Yeah, sure. So first I will explain how we can access the model using the API approach. Then we will talk about the key differences between the DU activities and the API approach. So here I have created the workflow. So first we will going to get the access token. So to get the access token, first we need to create the external application. From that we will have app ID and app secret, and we need organization name and the tenant name. So with this we will get the access token. So basically it is the authorization for the API calls. So here this is the post request to get the access token. So once we have an access token, so we can get the document text or we can extract the all the document fields information. So here I have extracted all the fields information. So so this is the endpoint URL, and we are giving the post request, and then we are mentioning the access token and the content type. And I have written the field name in the model and the field value that extracted and the field confidence and OCR confidence. Once you run this process, so we will get all the details like access token, document ID, document text, and extraction ID. Each document, each field information in the model and the extracted value and the confidence details. Now, if you talk about the key differences between the DU activities and the APA approach. So when the DU activities, definitely it is a simple drag and drop, and when it comes to APIs, it definitely requires some set of authentication. And do your activities follow the standard pipeline like loading the taxonomy, digitization, classification, extraction, and export? This kind of activities we need to follow, but in the API approach, we don't need to follow this approach. And when it comes to integration, do your activities work best in the UiPath ecosystem and API connect to document understanding to the external platforms like CRM, CRPs, and even mobile applications? So do your activities are connected to the action center for the manual validation? So in the API approach, we can create our own application best experience. So do your activities we can deploy in the UiPath robot where we install, but API can install in anywhere. We have many deployment options are available.
Okay, those are compelling advantages. The flexibility and scalability aspects are particularly impressive. It's like having the best of both worlds. Right. Um, Now, speaking of enterprise adoption, one thing that keeps business leaders worried is the performance. So, how do we know our AI models are actually working well? And
Yeah,
what methods do you recommend for measuring and monitoring the ML model performance in DU?
sure. If you created the model in the AI center, so with the AI center, you look at the things like precision, recall, FN score, and the confidence, how many corrections are made in the manual validation. You can also use dashboard and retrain data to track model performance. When it comes to document understanding, so most of the things are inbuilt. So you can check the classification confidence and each field confidence for the extraction, right? And if you enable the insight for the document understanding, so you can check the AI units usage and how much time is saving and how much cost is saving. So we can easily track in the document understanding.
Excellent points on monitoring. I really appreciate how the modern approach has made monitoring more business focused with matrices like time saved and cost saved rather than just the technical matrices. Right. And that brings me to another critical topic that I know our listeners would, especially those in leadership roles, are very concerned about, which is cost optimization. AI capabilities are powerful, but they also come with a hidden expense, right? And if
Yep.
not properly managed, they can be very expensive for the company. So, what's your advice for organizations that are looking to optimize cost while still leveraging these amazing document understanding capabilities?
Yeah. So that is a great question actually. So before going to the document understanding project, so we should analyze the ROI. Like we need to understand how many documents are being processed daily, weekly, monthly, and how much time and cost is saving. And when we implement the document understanding process, so we should give the first priority to the high volume data or complex documents, right? And for the document process, so we will going to build the model, ML model, right? So here, while creating the ML model, so we have a predefined models for the invoices, receipts, and purchase orders, right? So we can use them instead of building the model from the scratch. So that will save the AI units and the time. And when it comes to OCR, so in the UiPath, basically we have a free version OCR and paid version OCRs. So first give the priority to the free version OCR. So in case uh, with the free version OCRs, if the requirement is not satisfied, then we should go with the paid version OCRs. In the document understanding for the classification and extraction, it is better to use the combination of classification and extraction. So basically in the extraction, the invoice details we can easily extract by using the regex extractor, and the line item details, it is not possible. Sometimes it is a bit complex to extract the line item details using the regex. So in that case, we can go with machine learning model.
Okay, that's incredibly comprehensive. Thank you so much, Shiva. We covered so much on doubt today, from fundamentals of making models public to cutting edge Gen AI capabilities and everything in between. Thank you so much for this episode. Go ahead.
Thank you, Nisarga.